Teachers on Fire, it's Tim, and I want to tell you real quick about this idea of curation. I want to talk about curation for a moment. You see, we have the World Wide Web in front of us. We have a ton of resources, both as teachers and as parents, and we've noticed as educators during this whole remote learning coronavirus crisis that there have been abundance of resources, absolutely no shortage of available apps and platforms and websites for us and for our learners to visit and make use of. The quantity is not the problem. The curation is the issue. And Jennifer Gonzalez has written about this. I'll link her post below. But basically the idea is that people, whether it's educators or parents, are really looking for curated, carefully and properly curated lists of resources that actually bring a ton of value. Resources that are annotated and described and arranged in a visually pleasing way and in an accessible way. I think that is so important. I just got finished talking with my good friend and colleague Angela Fulbrant, and she'll correct me. She goes by Fully at our school, and what she's done is curated collections of learning resources and activities for those stay-at-home families. During the crisis, some families are looking for, what can my child do and learn, and how can my child play and engage in new activities that don't require technology? In other words, I want to pull them away from screens and into the kitchen, away from screens and into the garage, away from screens and into the yard. How can I get them engaged? What can I plug them into in those spaces? And what Angela's done is she's carefully curated lists of resources, both her ideas and the best ideas of others. And she's put out a number of posts, and you can find the URL below. I believe it's westcoastteaching.blogspot.com. Hope I have that right. And she's shared these with educators and especially with parents who are looking for exactly this type of resource. And the reason that has value in her network and her Facebook community and in other circles that she's in, and Twitter and elsewhere, is that people know her, they trust her expertise, they kind of understand what she's going for, they understand her core values, and they know that if it's coming from Mrs. Fully, it's going to be wholesome, it's going to be probably very organic, there's going to be some screen free, there's going to be some physical exercise, there's going to be some nature. And so if I visit her website, I bring all of those expectations and understandings to my visit there. I know it's going to be worthwhile, right? Because she's established what she is all about and who she is in advance. And so as a curated place of resources, I am more likely to go back there. I'm more likely to visit. One more example that comes to mind is a resource that I saw a few weeks ago from Common Sense Media, another source that I really like and trust. And Common Sense Media has, they took some time. This didn't come out right away in the remote learning environment when the crisis began in mid-March of 2020. But after a week or two, some time had gone by, they came out with a very, I would say like a stunning, visually accessible, curated collection of resources divided and arranged by topic, by subject, and like I said, it was all very accessible. And I know, here's the point, I know that if I go to their site, if I explore their collections, that there are not going to be any duds, that they are going to have vetted these resources, that they will all be reputable, they will all be peer-reviewed, so to speak, right? Not in an academic sense, but they will all be peer-reviewed by educators, by institutions that we know, like, and trust. And so when I saw this collection from Common Sense Media, I was on board, and I've gone back there many times. Again, because as an educator, our time is valuable. We don't have time to scroll around. Remember the old Yahoo search engine results, right? That were just lists of hyperlinks, and that, none of us have time to click, right? We need to know that where the places we are going for resources will deliver. And that's what we get when we find curated resources, and that's what we are giving when we take the time to carefully arrange collections of resources and annotate them, describe them, make them visually accessible for other educators and parents. Angela Fullbrand. Make sure to check out her blog, westcoastteaching.blogspot.com, for great lists, great collections of resources for at-home learning and play. And that's my thought for the day. Curate your resources. Give other people that gift. All right, I'm out. Wherever you are, take care, stay safe, and keep on learning.